Then why have no shenanigans?
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, at least on this profile, he's only got 3 esports games that he's played before. Pub profile has a few things. I know the Chinese characters that I believe he goes by in his pubs is Swan, but not sure how accurate that is.
Of the light.
Yeah. Admin Dougie is saying that it should be J when it gets into game. I was just curious of what any teams he's played on, anything like that. Maybe he's one of
Very
those
minor stuff.
Yeah.
At least in terms of what I've been able to find on Dota Buff.
Oh, goddamn Dota Buff not giving us the vital information we need. But and why Iomar's opener and for Army Geniuses it's going to be the Dragonite and the Keeper of the Light. So a couple of heroes that we didn't see in our previous series. Of course, they were banned out pretty consistently in those games.
Sorry, I'm still not over this little chocolate thing that I'm about to eat. It's so bad for
me. Dude, so I I said, are we good to go in? I'm like, you good to go in? You know, we've got a game, we've got a cast. And then I was like, wait, I got to tell you something. Okay, what's so important? We got 5 seconds. What are you trying to tell me? And he pulls out this chocolate and is telling me trying to tell me the nutritional information of the chocolate. I'm like, we got a game to cast. But you didn't tell me, so how bad is it for you?
This little milk koala.
10 seconds remaining.
This is the size of my hand, right? Not very big. 360 calories.
Hang on, what? That's no way.
You heard me. It must be literally pure fat, this thing, but down the hatch.
Don't eat it! That's just, no. When you're eating on a cast, that's a no-no right there. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed, Danog. You should know better.
What do you mean? I just need something to wash it down.
They're not our sponsor, so that's a horrible plug. You should know better, honestly. Pretty disappointed. And secondly, you just ate one little chocolate piece with 360 calories. That is, I don't know. There's got to be some consequences to that. I don't know. You might have to be run to the bathroom mid-game or something. There's got to be something wrong with that chocolate.
Nah, beautiful.
Oh, I had the teams on the wrong place as well. I blame you.
Well, see, clearly you're the one that's screwing up. All right, let's talk about the draft areas. You're out of control. Iomars starting things off, and it's a pretty standard combination. Dragonite Keeper, very meta, right? Like just good at pushing, good at team fighting, sustain. I mean, I feel like that's the biggest thing, right? Anything that just enables you to not be, I guess the right term would be resource starved on the map is going to be big. Because Keeper of the Light, you could pick something like a Leshrac or a Storm Spirit. Oddly enough, Army Geniuses are the ones to ban that out after they pick up the Keeper of the Light, the Medusa, the Storm Spirit. But you could just use it for a Dragon Knight as well, right? Lots of chain stuns happening with the Dragon Tail. But my big thing is, like, DK has insane regen. Coddle, pretty good at keeping that up as well. It's why I think Underlord, I'm becoming more of a fan of it, just because of the Fiend's Gate, go back to Fountain, come straight back. And even Coddle, like, if he gets his Aghanim Shard, right, can do a very similar sort of thing. Just TP someone back to the base, recall him straight back.
Where have you been seeing this Underlord? Because it's multiple times you've mentioned it now today. Is where you've been watching games that you're kind of winning you over.
I believe it was Western Europe that they were picking it. Maybe. Oh no, I was watching Koikfer and Seb casting the NA tiebreakers, and I think they were talking about it and how they liked it. And since then I've searched it out. They've done it a little bit in China as well, and it seems to be a pretty decent response.
Do you like the build that I saw? Who's the build that I saw Ace go for on the Underlord? Did you see that game? He went for Basher BKB Satanic.
I think it was late game.
No, he went first item Basher.
I did see a Tiny in China go first item Moonshard. At 13 minutes.
I just tweeted about that, bro. What, you
hang on. Won.
Yes, that was Shylock, I believe, that went for it, and Arme did it yesterday, and he demolished. It's kind of interesting. I think China's going for a lot more like Hand of Midases that they're getting. I know some people are going Mask of Madness, but Yeah, Moonshot's interesting. Anyway, we don't have to worry about them. We got a Razor picked up for Army Geniuses. We have seen them give it over to DB a couple of times over in Division 2. What does the Razor really provide them, though, this game? Because they don't see many heroes on MY.
Radiant team.
You don't, but I mean, this is a fast-paced, aggressive build, right? And it's how Army Geniuses like to play. Just run at you, Dota. You've already got that with the Dragon Knight, who, honestly, there's not a lot of downtime with the Elder Dragon form these days if you get good value out of it. And I mean, you're a Dragon Knight, right? If you die,
Dire team.
it's going to be a result of probably some poor positioning. And Io, Ogre Magi aren't heroes that do damage early on. So Dragon Knight feels very secure in that aspect. So maybe they're just feeling like, all right, we'll just go all in on this. Let Dragon Knight be the one to push, go for a bit of a flank with the Razor, and look to steamroll them in this way. I'm a little surprised that they didn't go for something like... I was about to say the Bloodseeker against the Razor, but I feel like you just stand still next to the Dragon Knight, and there's nothing that the enemy team can do, at least super early on, and you're still going to get an objective, right? And it's not... Honestly, the Bloodseeker is pretty decent against the DK, though, isn't it? I would say. Get the Aghanim Shard.
Yeah, I think so as well. You got a lot of pure damage. I like Bloodseeker against like tanky heroes. I'm intrigued about this Morphling pick, though. I think the new acquisition of the carry for MY, Jay, he's calling for the Morphling. This is a 17th pick where it's honestly pretty decent this game. They only have one stun, and your own static link is very good versus the Razor, but it's a carry we don't see often, and I think it's a carry that we really only get on plays that specialize on this hero. So I have to imagine Jay is very comfortable on the Morphling.
Well, the last time he played it in a ranked game was about a day ago, and he went 22, 0, and 8. So I feel like if that's your most recent... Okay, yeah.
That's such a
don't hate
bait.
it.
You sure? They have one stun.
Against an Io and a Morphling?
They have one stun. How do you round this together then?
Chakra the DK and stun him again.
So stun one person, then stun the other afterwards. Then you get double value of the Ice Blast. I don't know.
Got
That's
their mid laner, unless Coddle's mid. They could be. It could be a Coddle mid, right? And then you just toss another stun in your position 4 roll.
You could. They ban out the Void, so thinking that this could be flex anywhere. You know, with the Razor and the Dragon Knight, can put the Razor mid, can put the Razor off lane. Same with the Dragon Knight. So interesting.
Couldn't Wyvern here, could you, Army Geniuses?
Why?
I really like.
They cannot. They cannot. No.
Why not?
Okay. Why they can't? Because you have a Wyvern and an Ancient Apparition support duo and a Coddle mid, and you have no stuns. And
Winter's Curse.
Okay, cool. Very good. They ban out anti-mage as well. So I really feel like this Razor is going to be put in a different role. I mean, Mars is...
You don't want to even hear my justification of the Wyvern?
I don't. I think it's a horrible thought process of why would we get a Wyvern?
I'll tell you anyway, because you're against, like, there's no grip stroke, right?
This is like Sheepo speaking about when a Meepo gets picked up. You know, when we saw that Meepo in the later stages of Division 1, and then the panel was just like, all right, there you go. You have all your time. You can just speak about the Meepo. Who cares about anything else? It's you. You want your Wyvern. They're not... No, I'm not going to let you speak about it. There's not going to be a Wyvern. What are MY picking? It's probably a mid.
They'll need to pick a mid that's able to deal with the Wyvern that Army Geniuses are going to pick. So something that dives, something that is capable of dealing damage through the Cold Embrace that the Wyvern is going to have. Let's see.
Oh,
okay, yep. Pretty decent against a Wyvern, I have to say. I mean, it really punishes the fact that they're lacking stuns now, that's for sure.
Okay, so do you put the DK mid now against the Park and go for a better offlaner to deal with the Morphling?
Oh, I guess. Oh no, Sand King's gone. What do they get? A Doom? Hey, a Doom.
I don't hate that either. I don't think it pairs well with the Ice Blast, but I think there's a very good Night Stalker game. You excel at being able to control the Puck, the Morphling. You don't care about Arena. I like it a lot versus Io. It is also a combo that we saw a long time ago. China really liked the Night Stalker and the Coddle together. Now, that was a position 1, and you were going Ag Scepter build and playing off the back of that. I do not believe Womi's going to go down that route, but it is something that we've seen in the past. Regardless, a double nuke from the void is a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it's still obviously going to go the BKB, but I feel like you go that directly in response to going onto the puck as this Night Stalker. The thing is, Night Stalker is one of 3 heroes in the game that actually does not care, as long as he's got the Dark Ascension popped, about the Mars Arena. He has the flying component. It's not just flying like elevated vision. He's actually flying. Only him, Wyvern, and Clockwork when he's jetpacking have that, where you're able to just disregard the Mars Arena. So obviously you need the BKB because you're just going to get dream coiled otherwise and not have an impact in these fights. But you don't need to worry about the secondary, perhaps, team fight coming through from Mars.
All right, can you take a guess at what level Jay is on the Morphling before we get in?
I'm going to say Master.
Is Master 25 or 30?
25.
Okay,
Grandmaster.
All right, I'm gonna say I'll go 27. Wow.
Silver.
What a boring player. Come on, man. You're supposed to spam this.
Prepare
Yeah.
for
So
battle.
do you think, are we calling him Jay? Like, is that what he's
Yes.
going by? Because the name directly translates to Swan.
That's his Wikipedia, and Dougie, our beautiful admin, also said Jay.
Oh, it's out on Wikipedia.
Well, no, he doesn't, but that's what is on MY's like team. Like if you hover over the team, the player shop, and position 1 is known as Jay. So yes, I'm going by Jay. How are we feeling about this?
Yeah, this player does not exist.
Yes.
So, about that.
How are we feeling about our game 1, Daniel? We've got a bit of an interesting draft. Army Geniuses kind of trying to go for some counters here with the Ancient Apparition, but does it pair well with their lineup? Do they have synergy, and do they have a way to take this game 1?
The only thing I'm worried about is the puck. I feel like the puck is going to have a dominant game, unless you... I mean, I guess the Night Stalker is a pretty decent response, right? As long as you're able to get in on top of the puck. I think the big thing that Army Geniuses are going to look to go for is the Blink BKB timing on Wami. And I think once they've got that, there's really not too much that MY can look to do in response to it.
I think BKBs are the only time Radiant will... Sorry, Dire. If Dire get BKBs, of course, there's going to be 3 coming out. Night Stalker, Dragon Knight, and the Razor. That, for me, is the biggest timing for them in this game. If they cannot hit that in stride, then I feel like Radiant have what it takes. I like their... You've got really good ways to be able to amplify your Morphling with the Io, with the Ogre. You have really good team fight along with that. Coil, Mars Arena. I think early on, some of the plays to make are pretty reliant on level 6s in Coil and Arena again, just mentioning, but I'm only looking at pretty much if Azura can get multiple pickoffs with Blink and then that triple BKB timing on Dire.
Azura has been playing pretty damn well
He
though,
has.
in this past little bit of time, though, so we'll see what he's capable of doing. I mean, this mid matchup is really favorable for him.
It definitely is. And I like you mentioning that because we've also, when Azura was introduced to Army Geniuses, we were both very impressed with his just hero pool and how he was able to play and pull games together. And he kind of transitioned that very well into Vision 2. We saw Army Geniuses, they ended 5-2, which is a very, in any other, I think, tour, that's potential for tiebreakers and even being promoted or major slots, whatever. But the fact that just Talon and RSG were so dominant was a big issue for Army Geniuses.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit unlucky in the fact that they had to play against the teams that ended up going 1-2 pretty early on into the tour. So maybe some of that team cohesion wasn't quite there at the very beginning.
Another thing to mention for MY is that they've continuing, we've spoken about the acquisition of the new carry player and Jay, but they keep going back and forth with their coach, MyPro, and Stylist. It looks like Stylist is back and playing the position 4. There was quite some time where MyPro was actually playing instead, so at least they do have some familiarity there, but just goes to show that they're kind of not set in stone and comfortable with this, at least position 4. Stylist should go down. First blood's going to be given over to Variz. A great start for the top lane on Army Geniuses.
Hyper warming up to come straight back in.
Don't say that. What the hell, man? What stylist done to you, huh? For you to roast him like that?
He's done nothing at all. Except feed first blood.
Yeah, but does it affect you?
No, not really.
Yeah, not really.
This is one of those lanes that are really annoying, by the way, for the Ogre. He's got the boots of speed, but he still has a hard time of catching up to the Keeper of the Light. Like, simply with a windlace, it's enough to be able to just completely outrange an Ogre. And it's not like Coddle's harassing the Ogre either, right? Like, right-clicking him isn't going to do all that much with the good armor and regen that an Ogre has. But it just means that he's free to do whatever the hell he wants. You know, keep the Morphling a little bit pressured, make sure that Wami is able to get his levels, build up some stacks for the team. He's even going for a nice little pull here that an Ogre's not going to be able to do a huge amount to be able to stop.
Is this just going to be a free farming lane for the Morphling? Like, is there anything they can really do to prevent Jay from having a good lane?
Not really. I mean, maybe if it hits nighttime and you get 1 point into the Crippling Fear, maybe you catch him in Agi form, you know, the Void Slow takes a little bit, is a little bit longer at nighttime, and you use that to get a Coddle Blast off, but other than that, I'd say it's pretty free.
It's like, all up side lanes honestly going pretty well. Of course, that first blood up top was really the only dent to start out our game 4 minutes in, but we've got our second round of the water runes. There's going to be no contestation from the support, so it looks like Azura and BB will be able to find these with ease. I think it's now we're kind of looking towards the catapult timing, and Azura's level 6, so do you feel like Army Geniuses have supports that are able to rotate mid and kind of play with Azura?
Not really, to be honest. I feel like he's just going to be playing on his own for a fair amount of this time. Maybe look to put a little bit of pressure onto that mid tower. I don't really feel like he wants to move to another lane, though, either, right? Like, I feel like a support or two on their own isn't going to change much of anything. It needs to be the Night Stalker and/or the Razor that also makes a rotation, or he needs to go to one of those other lanes.
Maybe he's going to take a lot of damage here. Got all back up in a couple of seconds. He got very aggressive with his spell usage, so Azura to jump on that with a Dragon Tail, but BB's got plenty of bottle charges to heal himself back up.
How many denies? 11. Yeah, pretty expected. This DK, I think you've got about a 15 damage advantage over the puck, so he's forced to go back into farming the small camps and the like, not anywhere near as efficient for both gold and experience. And you can just see they're pinging out the siege creep already, saying, look, we're going to need to be able to respond to this somehow.
This is a very risky play, but I wouldn't hate if Wami goes mid, because I don't see what two supports on an Ancient Apparition and a Coddle do. But I feel like if you have the Night Stalker mid with a Silence or like a mini stun in the Void, could actually hold back BB and maybe get the kill.
Actually already used the glyph there, so it's surprising that...
Alright, coils out. It's going to snap on the Keeper of the Lion Axe. Is able to sweep one over to mid along with this, so Narman will be killed off. Unfortunately, BB will not get the power rune, though. It's going to be region top that Rish is standing ground to protect. That's a long-range stun from Lion Axe. What the heck? Is he going to jump to it? No, BB won't. But these are tanky heroes, and Azura really doesn't have much damage at the moment. Gonna try and TP in Narman, refreshing up some of the spells, and alright, Varese, nicely done. He's able to get the kill. He's up to level 4 now.
I guess, but I mean, the main goal there was to make sure that Azura is not able to hit the tower. So he'll get a couple of more hits in with this ending part of the Elder Dragon form, but tower's not taken that much damage out of the first one. So it's a good little response. It was BP that really made the call for the rest of his team to come mid there at that time. So nice recognition coming through from the puck, even though in terms of net worth and last hits, he has fallen a tiny bit behind.
Yeah, I think this is just all on that Radiant have supports that a little bit better at the early stages compared to what Dyes were. You can't really do anything to pair with the aggressive Elder Dragon form that you were trying to have to take down that tower. So Army Geniuses, they do have a very early net worth lead, though top is going quite well for the Razor.
They probably should have gotten another kill there. DB used the static link, but didn't steal any damage. I don't think I've ever seen that, where it's literally 0 damage stolen from a static link. And you've got two separate slows on the Ancient Apparition, plus your Plasma Field. Probably should be happening, but well, gave time for Stylus to make the rotation back there, and mean that he survives to fight another day.
We do have level 6 though on Wommy, double brace, and of course nighttime for another 2 minutes. How can they look to get this Night Stalker involved and give him a good start?
I'd honestly, they're going to go for a bit of a, I was about to say kill attempt there on the Morphling, but not going to be the case.
It's going to be in the
I'd
river.
be
That
happy
Breeze
to...
is in trouble. Well, nice sidestep, but it doesn't matter. 4 heroes and MY. An easy kill, getting rid of the life of Varish.
But yeah, look at what they do again, right? Right around the time that the Elder Dragon form's back available, you see multiple MY heroes just saying, look, you cannot push this. We're not going to let you get something for free.
Radiant are scanning.
The fact that you're putting a lot of emphasis onto this means that our Morphling is still going to farm a little bit. But I was about to say, I feel like you just keep Naman down here on the bottom side of the map, let him get that faster Spirit Vessel, and make Wommy make the rotation towards the mid lane. Because I feel like if he's there, you're very capable of getting straight on top of the puck and looking to do some damage in that way.
100% in agreement, because that's also kind of what I brought up earlier. Like, I want the Night Stalker to go mid, and especially now with maxed out Void and Dark Ascension, like, you are going to be able to provide so much extra help that you kind of Azura needs with this DK early.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Crippling Fear though, which is the only downside, I suppose, but it's only 50 seconds until we're going to have daytime again, so it's going to be needing to be around that Dark Ascension. Maybe that's the plan for Army Geniuses, right? Let it get to 10 minutes, have the bottom lane pushed in by the Keeper of the Light, make the rotation through, play around the Siege Creep at the 10-minute mark, plus the Elder Dragon form, plus having Crippling Fear. And then if you've still got duration left after you take a successful team fight, you can then look to join in onto one of the other lanes. But Azura actually makes the rotation bot instead. They'll still get a tower, but it's certainly not the all-valuable one, which is that mid-tier one.
And honestly, maybe they're not too worried as well, though, because all their cores are farming really well. We haven't seen any conversions with the arena, and Puck hasn't made any rotations because of the threat of this Dragon Knight taking a tower. So all the lanes from Army Geniuses, you got top 3 in their cores, and I think, again, BKB is the most important thing for Army Geniuses. If you can hit them all 3 in stride, and well, they are putting themselves in quite the position to do so. Top lane Breeze should go down.
He is dead as a doornail.
What? Wait, dead as a doornail?
Yeah, it's a boomer phrase. Don't worry about it.
Would you like to explain for all the Zoomers out there?
You think I know it? It's passed down from me from previous generations like a folk story.
Like a folk story? Oh, no way. Oh my lord, dead as a doornail.
I mean, it could be dead as a... Maybe I'm saying it wrong as well. I'm pretty sure it's actually dead as a dodo.
Mid lane. Okay, BB. Coil's out. Relatively tanky, then he still popped the coil. So the break is there, completely wasting the Dark Ascension. Now Icebox does find the Morphling. He's going to be killed off here. It should shatter. Alright, that's not the worst trade.
It's not the worst. It could be better though, right? Like, A, snapping the coil,
top
B...
lane, Seri. He's going to be in some trouble. Spear... Is there in the nick of time, but he's got the pick ball to be able to close the distance, not the phase boots on DB. And actually with the tethered movement speed, Seri is able to run himself out of the lane.
Worthy of a god's praise.
Yeah, it's not only the coil snap, they also heard the relocate coming in, and it was just a pretty early use of the blinding light coming through from the Keeper of the Light there.
Oh, DB's in trouble. He's going to try and tank through all the damage. Strength Treads, Raindrop, but it will not matter as MY surround the Razor top. And Army Geniuses, they're going to try and use this information now to maybe get something out of the map as Azura and Naman, putting a little bit of damage onto the tier 1 mid.
They're worried about the coil, but just had a couple of seconds left on it, so it wouldn't have actually been a factor. Is Azura lucky? No, he is not, and ends up getting the Illusion Rune up on the top side for BB. So, I mean, a tower denied, only losing 2 at this stage of the game against a Dragon Knight. You have to be feeling relatively happy about that. Yeah.
think we're also seeing the cores get all their farm. I think everyone has to be pretty happy with this early game. You got the Mars 3-0-1. Now he's going BKB first item on Siri. I guess feeling like the puck is ample way for them to start fights.
Sure. I guess he just wants to be in there, you know, tanking up a lot, never having his spells prevented from happening. It's really just going to be who hits their timing first with the BKB, right? You want to have the BKB against the Razor just so that you can, you know, always make sure you're getting the spear off in these engagements, and Razor, of course, wants to have it so that you're not having to worry about the arena.
Zero. Revealing the blink just on the stylus. So it's a beautiful way to set up for that Ice Blast, and the Eye will pop. But MY, they're going to look to try and hit back. An ambitious coil usage with no one else being able to step in.
Very ambitious. I almost wonder if they're looking to go for a play now with Army Geniuses in the next 25 or so seconds. No Dream Coil for 60. You're going to have the, well, you don't quite have Echo Saber, but Wami's got the Dark Ascension. You've got the Elder Dragon form up in 15 seconds, Ice Blast in 30. I definitely think you try and make a bit of a play around here and enable DB to be aggressive. That's what you pick the hero for.
Dude, Lionax is such a crazy good player. The experience that he gained from Motivate coming into kind of the academy roster of MY, and we've always sung his praise, and that's kind of probably a weird way to put it though, with him just dying, but beautiful position from him.
Say, like,
I'm trying to build into it. I'm trying to build into it.
For the people that were less aware that dying can be a good thing, if the support does it in the right place.
Because it was perfect. You were mentioning that Army Genius is probably going to consider smoking with Coil on cooldown. They had the Observer Ward up top, which was scouting out all three heroes of MY, and you see Lionax is just put his body on the line, exactly like a support should be doing. And yeah, it's definitely, it was an awkward way to put it, but was leading there to Lionax. He always does it though. He's always on point, reading the moves of the enemy team and popping smokes and keeping those cores healthy.
Yep, doing a great job. All right, Wami, he's level 10. He's got that extra Dark Ascension duration. He's 50 gold away from the Echo Saber. Going for another smoke here. Armin's a little short on having his Spirit Vessel, which I'd be perhaps a tiny bit concerned about, but if you're able to get a free kill onto someone like the Puck with the Blink Dagger that Azura has, then it's very easy to convert. But yeah, BB as well. It's not just Lionax. He's also got a very good recognition of where Army Geniuses are likely to be playing.
Still, the net worth lead is continuing to grow for Army Geniuses. It's up to 4,000. We haven't really seen any aggressive plays, and DB is completely uncontested. This is a huge ancient stack for the Razor.
There's one of those items. Won't have Eye of the Storm if they opt to go for an immediate push, but they'll have the BKB. And looking to snipe a little bit of that gold. Maybe just helping out his Razor as well. But honestly, I'd be happy to give it over to Narman. Just that tiny little bit. That Spirit Vessel's so important when you're coming up against an IO and a Morphling. They'll get it. For that stack gold, plus the small camp, that's enough.
They did smoke twice very recently, but you feel like they're in a position where they could maybe force another? Hold that thought. Wami bottom. Gonna run to the Puck, and Azura's in a position to be able to follow up, so Puck will be killed off. Beautifully done. They've got decent time in the Elder Dragon form along with the Catapult, so maybe they get aggressive for the tier 2.
You at least pop the glyph, right? Like, I don't think you're going to be able to take the tower, but I think you can force something to be expended on MY's side. Question is, what do MY look to do in response? Is it still the farming game? I would say so, considering Seri is so close to picking up his own BKB. So a mechanism coming soon for Stylist. He'll need to pop it pretty preemptively, right? You're up against an Ancient Apparition, so any healing that you can do is going to be better than none, even if it's not completely ideal.
Man, Lionax is only level 6. He's having a bit of a tough one to be able to find those levels this game. And his bottom again, BB's under a ward.
is under attack.
Sending in the Ice Blast. But see, he's
went
actually
in
going to
deep.
jaunt in aggressively instead as the TPs along with the relocate starting to come down.
Silence.
But look at the silence! Wommy onto all three. Just instantly crumbles the attempt as MY can't use any spells. They enter the grave and Army Geniuses are licking their lips after that fight.
That's what happens when you don't have a BKB on the Mars, right? Like, he gets caught inside the silence. What can you do? Maybe if he's able to get that off, he could save the rest of his team from getting followed up on, but or at least expend, you know, some BKB charges. But instead, 4 people die, you lose a tower, and Army Geniuses lose nothing.
This 8,000 net worth lead, and BB's game, that's 2 deaths in a row for him, where he hasn't really been able to get much of a footing. It's really just Jay on the Morphling, who has a Lincoln that's going to be working on the BKB next item, but when is this Morphling in fighting shape?
Ooh, I would
DB's
say...
actually going to run into Seri. A defensive arena, but DB just runs straight through with the BKB, so Seri's going to be forced to pop his own. Hasn't been killed off just yet. DB has to respect his own BKB soon to expire.
Oh, the last tick of the
Oh.
Ice Blast. Literally the last tick. Morphling's online when he gets either a BKB or a Link. So, gonna be a little bit of time still. About 2,500 gold away.
Like
The
this.
question is, what are they going to do in the meantime? You've got the Arcane Rune, which they're popping to be able to push into this mid lane. There's no glyph, so still plenty of chances for Army Geniuses to be able to take away a lot of MY's map.
The emphasis that Army Geniuses are putting on these deep lane wards. We saw one down bottom at the bottom tier 2 tower, which set them up perfectly for that team fight. They put another one now behind the top tier 2 tower, so they're really looking to have this DK jump or the Night Stalker jump with Blink coming down, and then all of a sudden have multiple heroes diving deep.
Now, I don't personally agree with this, but I want to see what your understanding of it would be. Do you think it's worth DB going for a Lincoln Sphere just to be able to stop the Morphling from morphing into the Razor? I feel like you'd be much better served just going Refresher and abusing the fact that you've got such a strong timing right now.
Hold that thought. Lionax gonna try and run to the high ground. Zero already standing there and waiting, but they don't have the numbers on Army Geniuses to take the fight. So all of a sudden the +2 on the back line will get them a big kill on Azura, but oh, Army Genius, they actually want to try and take the fight as Jay runs straight to the Ice Blast. There's nothing the Eye can do to keep the Morphling healthy. Seri might be in trouble, or BB too. Wommy's got the Dark Ascension to play with deep inside the base. They go behind the tier 3 towers. They'll even place a ward down for good measure as Army Geniuses continuing to get whatever they want across the map.
Yeah, it was an ambitious relocate coming through for sure. Did end up getting him that 5 kill streak, of course.
Are they gonna go? Wommy again?
Why not?
A multi-man silence. Seri's gonna have the opportunity to pop the BKB. And
He missed that spear?
he did. I do not know how. I think it was because Lionax stunned Wommy and he was anticipating the Night Stalker to move another direction, and all of a sudden he missed on the spear. Dude, Lionax is still
like
6.
I still feel like the spear hit. So
to answer your question before, I think that this build on Jay going Lincoln's BKB is incredibly defensive. He can go this defensive build this game because he's going to get damage out of the static link on the Razor. So if Razor goes Lincoln's, then it pretty much is like there's no damage on Morphling because he hasn't itemized for damage. He's just expecting him to get it from the static link himself. Now, it's a very heavy commitment on DB. I agree with that, but I can kind of see the reasoning.
yeah, I could see the reasoning as well. I just don't like
Is
it.
it? Yeah, it's a different thing if it's right or not. BB. Oh, Varese! Dude, what? They've got no stuns and they're gonna kill a puck! That is exceptional play from the supports on Army Geniuses, and they will get out with murder.
So it really feels like they're just getting caught with their pants down constantly.
Yeah.
With
Top lane, what's going on?
with MY. Oh,
Lionax. Well, he got to level 8 at least, so he's doubled his
no.
levels prior. As it increased it by 2, I
Seri.
should say.
He's just getting kited around constantly. Army Geniuses are doing so many little things right in all of these engagements, right? That blink stun coming through from Azura prevents him from getting off the Arena of Blood. And, you know, at the time, DB had about 2 seconds left on the BKB, so he would have been locked in place, and you would have been able to kill him. But even just the little decisions to take a tiny little backstep on DB after that, so that the plasma field slow hits and he's discouraged about following. I feel like even though you're in a really rough spot to be able to do so, you gotta wait. You gotta get this BKB on the Mars, and you have to make sure that you've got a BKB on the Morph.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's a BKB. I meant Blink Dagger on Siri.
We've got, Jane Stylist. They're going to cut off any reinforcements. Wommy jumps in instantaneously with the Ice Blast follow-up. Jay, he's going to shatter under the damage as Army Geniuses. They are just tearing apart any attempt that NY have to bring this game back into position. We can turn this around. A 16,000 net worth lead. They'll get the tier 1 and into Roche now they go.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It's a great Night Stalker pick. I don't know why more teams don't pick it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a really strong hero all around. And, you know, of course, there needs to be the right win conditions available. Really squishy supports that are useless if you get onto them that don't want to buy things like a BKB. So even something like the Puck is very effective in that regard. But I can't really fault too much about how he's been playing this game so far. It's going to even get worse for MY once he gets his own BKB.
Which, with all these objectives being claimed across the map, is going to be very close to it. He's about to have 2 components, enough gold for it. Actually does now, so yeah, it's a very good position for Army Genius to be in. And I was really looking up the triple BKB from them, but they've got everything they would ever want out of the map pre-triple BKB. So I'm very worried for MY.
I guess DB feels that he doesn't really need the refresher at this stage for the extra BKB usage, because they're just so confident that with their pretty good spell use, to be honest, on AG's side, that they're just going to be able to take down these high priority targets within the timing of the first BKB. And the most important one to make sure that you're killing is the Puck. I was saying it was going to be a pretty free Puck game, and I feel like BB did as well as he could out of the laning stage, but ever since then, it just feels like Army Genius has been pretty next level in being able to find him out with that Dragon Tail stun and getting right on top of him with bombing.
Yeah, I feel like it's a decent Puck game as well. I just think their vision has excelled Army Geniuses to be in this position. Like, we've seen multiple times the wards has been a reason why Puck is being killed off.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
The kind of issue for Army Geniuses is that they do slightly struggle with going high ground, but you can just starve out the map and make it so that MY really get nothing.
He's getting chased a little bit here with the static link onto him, but DB? Are you a BB or a DB fan?
I don't know, but I'm worried about Jay. Wommy's gonna see him. I'm trying to take the out. Wommy's hunting. Oh, they don't get the stun to cancel, but they'll get the IO instead, so at least something for Army Geniuses. But this will now leave top vulnerable, and I say vulnerable, now they can just shove it out with all the heroes showing bot. Just gonna sweep.
Would you say it's a C thing, the obsession with letters? BB, DB, J. So lots of just little basic things. I guess R, T, Z, right?
Every word is made of a letter. Top lane, Wommy. Is he gonna be able to kill off the Puck? Very close. Now
every word is made of a letter.
Radiant's
philosopher.
I was waiting for you to say something. Well, I mean, what are you saying? RTZ? Like, what? What's that comparison? Like, AR?
Words that can be made literally out of letters, you know? Like, just saying the letter. Even though you could spell it A-R-T-E-E-Z-Y, you could also spell it R-T-Z, you know?
Okay. Well, you got FY in China, you got DY, you got PYW.
Yes. So maybe it's an Asian thing.
Sure.
RTZ is an honorary Asian, considering he is with Dove, so...
like we have John as our honorary Australian because he's casting with Mike. I understand. See, I'm
I mean, you see now it's
hang on.
Oh.
All right, that's an decent coil, but instantly, oh, the coil does nothing for them. There's the full opens there on the Mars. Siri, like you said, doesn't pop a BKB, and I mean they're taking a T3 tower and hunting the puck under the ward.
Puck's gonna be able to get away, and look at that. Wommy's like, oh no, you're not going anywhere, brother. But looks like he should be able to get away. He has complete vision underneath that ward. Ice Blast even coming out across the map. Perhaps for a little bit of vision, but point ended up catching him out.
Without Siri, I don't know how you're going to hold this set of barracks. Jay's going to TP back. Oh, the Hex is out. Narman's got a... What?
What? I didn't see that.
So I saw it last fight, and I was a bit confused. I'm like, what's going on? Who's a Hex? That was the instant stun they got onto the Mars. And I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of let it slide. We were talking about other stuff, and yeah, all right. Well, Narman, this is a hell of an item. Of course, Philosopher's Stone helps out a lot. They jump. They're gonna consider it. Oh, Jay's in trouble. Can he even get the BKB off in time? Jay will find it. Anticipating the Ice Blast. He's gonna run into it. Oh my god, that was so close. Womy's still under the tier 4 towers. They're onto the Ogre. He is killed off. Stylus is gonna be in trouble as well. Brought back to his death as Womy is waiting in anticipation as Army Geniuses now can lead this into more objectives to be claimed.
Still hasn't popped the Dark Ascension on Womy. He still hasn't popped his BKB either.
Azura tries to pop the Lincolns with a fake grenade. They're once again diving deep. Morphling's in a bit of trouble. Irish trying to do whatever he can to keep Jay alive, but he's going to shatter under the damage. Jay's looking to buy back for round 2, but Azura, well, he's not easy to kill off at all. So that's where BB comes into play with the magical bursts. They're all stuck in a tree line. This is not a place you want to be at all as BB gets the triple, but the cost, it's pretty grave, especially with your position 1 buying back.
Yeah, it just opens up a massive win condition for Army Geniuses if they're able to take him out again. So they'll lick their wounds. They'll say, oh, it's a little bit unfortunate that we ended up giving over a good amount of gold to BB, about 1,500 or so. The real question is, what's he going to be able to do with it? He's gone the Lincolns as well, just really not wanting to get caught out at the start of a lot of these engagements. But as we've seen, that damn Fey Grenade doing a great job at popping the Lincolns on whoever that seems they want to go on. So I'm not sure how effective it's actually going to be.
On me? Very nicely done. Pops smoke, gets out. Looks like this tier 1 tower will still be killed off unless Army Genius have something else to say. DB. They actually want to fight on MY. The respawns are coming out shortly. They're going to fight again. A silent Siri. He pops a BKB, but it gives DB enough time to be able to use his own and chase down the Mars. He's going to go back to base. I don't think he'll tick out to the Ice Blast. Nope, he will not.
A prize.
Bye-bye Stylist is not even...
No.
What? Okay. No detection.
He's not AFK, guys. He hasn't raged.
That's right. A is coming. Got a little bit of vision on...
No.
What's... Maurice is just dropping out. He knows Stylist can go nowhere. It's going to be nothing. Maurice didn't know exactly where the Stylist IO was, but it's going to be Nama that comes in, drops a sentry, gets the kill on IO, and back down the mid lane they go.
Oh, this is actually pretty big, although do they... Oh, they've got the recall on Narman, so even though Wami made the TP up here, he wants to wait and see if Puck reveals herself at all, but she won't do so as soon as she's showing on the map, although BB's doing a pretty good job as well, continuously making sure he's playing in the fog.
Oh, Azura, those reactions! Gets out of the range of the Mars jump, and now Wami straight to the backline. He's onto the Puck. Lincoln's broken, and Puck's health evaporates, and Jay's got to respect Army Genius. He bought back prior, playing around with his own static link, trying to control Wami, but flying through the tree line. Wami's out, and Jay! Oh, he jumped in! Jay played aggressive, and it's going to force them to call it quits as Army Geniuses will take game 1. A very convincing game 1 at that.
Absolutely. Really felt like the Night Stalker tied together this draft really well. Got to give props to Wami for that. But overall, they just had a lineup that would enable you to run over the enemy team. You know, the damage early on, pretty damn lacking. Mars doesn't do a lot outside of good harass in the laning stage, and I feel like it just put a little bit too much pressure on BB to make literally everything happen for the first 25 or so minutes of this game. And, well, you can't leave it all up to one person.
It's very difficult when you're in that position. Even though BB is level 25, Puck loves the hero, but for Army Geniuses, yeah, I like what you said. I mean, I think this game was a beautiful way for them to outround their draft with the Night Stalker. It wasn't really the combo with the Ancient Apparition, but just gave them great control of the entirety of this game. We saw really what they were able to do with Vision. I think that was the main thing where it was very, very difficult for MY to get on the map. We saw multiple times Observer Woods with the big X factor to be able to kill BB off, and then they could go from there. So Army Geniuses, they will be able to take out game one, and we'll see what MY can do to hit back after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've got our second game here of our last series of the night. It's going to be Army Geniuses taking on MY, and well, it was a bit of a rocky way to start for the lads over on MY. Of course, not the way they would be hoping to start Pro Series 11, but for Army Geniuses, they are right in the driver's seat.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you would assume so. I would say probably from like these are on different sides of the bracket. The first series of the day and the second. I would say coming into this, of the 4 teams to go through, I would have picked 2 of them as being Execration and Army Geniuses, so it's nothing to be too surprised about. But you know, certainly C Dota is very competitive across the board. So let's see what MY are going to be able to do in response to it. I'm happy that the DP has been banned out by Army Geniuses. But to first pick a Nyx Assassin seems very odd.
Yeah, I guess they didn't ban the Deucer, so maybe they were just...
Or the Storm and Io.
Yeah, so maybe they're just expecting the Deucer to come out. They felt like the Nyx was going to be a way to prevent that.
10 seconds.
So do they
And then
storm
MY
themselves?
just said, early timings, bang.
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
not a bad Storm game.
Because that's... I do not remember what team we saw do this. I actually don't know if it was the game we were casting, UDV plus whoever it was, but there was a... Maybe it was the Division 1, but they were speaking about, you know, the Medusa is a big something you have to be worried about. They didn't ban it. They picked the Nyx Assassin first pick, and then they followed up with a Storm Spirit, because it's a really, really good combo. You've got a hero that gains vision, gains information, and then a hero that jumps to backline and utilizes that vision extremely well.
Pretty sure we were casting it. I think it was against a Tiny in particular, and I said as soon as he gets like you'll be
That's
able
right,
to catch
yep.
him farming in the jungle, the cleave, you'll spike Carapace, that'll enable Storm Spirit to zip in, bada bing, bada boom. Very easy, right? You might have a very similar sort of story, right? With when it comes to the Mars and the Razor. Maybe a little bit harder to predict for the Mars, but for Razor in particular, you generally know when he's about to plasma field, right? He's going to move into the middle of 2 neutral camps.
For some...
Bada bing, bada boom. What is it?
Nah, for some reason I felt like using my swear button on the Go
10
XLR. You've got it, right?
remaining.
Yeah? Yeah, no, I accidentally pressed it, I think, heading
5
into
seconds
the
remaining.
game.
You did.
Oh, do you hear it? Oh, okay. Wait, you can hear it
was-
too?
I heard something beep.
Wait, hang on, I'm doing it again.
It's like a little. It's not a real beep. It's just like a, you know, like not a swear beep.
Yeah, it's not crazy loud, so and it doesn't last for too long anyway. Anyway, I felt like doing it a couple times while you were speaking. I don't know why. It's there. I've never touched it. Never going to, but the first time I used it in a
Cool.
while. Yeah, just what.
By the way, I looked it up just to make sure I wasn't delirious. Dead as a doornail is correct.
Radiant
Goes back
team
to
back.
Shakespearean English back when I was growing up, and it's
What?
referring to like. Have you ever shut up? Have you ever seen those like those nails, right? That are kind of like bent over,
Dire team back.
right? Like that you can kind of like hook yourself on them. You typically see them like in old buildings or like farmhouses where it was done a pretty crappy job with a hammer.
Sure.
You got what I'm saying? Yeah. So basically, if they're bent over, that's known as like a dead nail because you can't really
Dire
use it again,
team
right?
hit.
Whereas if you can
Radiant
pull out a
team
straight
hit.
nail and use it again.
Keeper of
But,
the light.
yeah. I'm correct. But also, dead as a doorknob is also a thing. Dead as a dodo is another thing. So lots of dead references.
Let's keep it lively over here. Thank you, please, Matt. We want everyone to have a good
10
time. We don't want to be
seconds
thinking about
remaining.
those things, right?
5 seconds remaining.
All right, and why they're gonna pull some of the heroes out that Army Geniuses had in their game 1 victory. We got the Razor Keeper of the Light, but Army Geniuses now with the back-to-back pick with the 16th, 17th.
What could they go for?
I'd like
Don't
it.
hate a Pugner.
Okay.
Don't hate an IO either.
I would like a way to
But-
deal with Razor through BKB. That's what I would
Yeah.
like.
But don't you just like decrep your whoever's getting gone on if you go Pugner? Like you'll still link, right? But you won't be doing damage.
Yeah, I've been really liking Pugna with like Storm, Lesh, Dusa works well, Grim for a completely different reason. Just the life drain I think is really nice to be able to give Storm
Radiant
mana to be able to
team
continue
pick.
going. Go down the Pugna. It's also Army Genius, I suppose. They really like their Pugna. It's a Wommy
Yeah, right. This could be an offlane Pugna, right? Yeah.
I wonder if they Grim. They really like their Pugna Grim. It's not the worst. Nyx Grim is a pretty decent combo. Grim Storm Spirit I like a
10
lot, so I
seconds
wouldn't hate
remaining.
it. There's your
Yeah, but it does like
5
I almost
seconds
feel like they
remaining.
might pick their carry hero here just because you probably know what your carry to carry matchup is.
and the offlane too.
Um, yeah, exactly,
Dire
right. So
team
I don't
pick.
think you want to reveal all that much, and they do go down that route, right?
Into
So it's
Razor.
just something that I think it's still fine, just because you
Radiant
want to be
team
using it to
ban.
catch out the Razor before the start of a lot of these engagements, before he's able to pop the BKB, right? So next assassin is going to be, I don't want to say the initiator, but he's going to be the one that reveals any kind of, sentries or anything like that. I think there are going to be very few instances where Nyx Assassin
10
actually uses the
seconds
Vendetta
remaining.
right click. I think he's going to be set up. If he doesn't die, then the rest of his team, he's going to impale. The rest of his team is going to join. They have no immediate save. Tiny, Storm Spirit, plenty of ways to be able to
Dire
kill this
team
Razor, and
ban.
then you just move forward and take out the rest of the team.
Well, I do like the Shaman pick though from MY. Gives you a very, very easy way to now jump on the Storm Spirit and then have the Mars follow up. It also gives you a great way to be able to take objectives, which you were lacking prior to the pick.
I'm seeing what they're actually going to do in response to the storm. No co-op. They Lena? Hate Alina.
Alina either.
There's something that's going to be good in the lane. They don't have amazing rotators. I feel like the Nyx Assassin, it really depends on what Army Geniuses do, right? But you can't leave a Pugna solo in a lane if it's going to be like a Nyx 4, for example. Can't really leave a Tiny alone either. So I feel like they're going to be lacking in rotators to punish early on. And even later, right? I mean, I guess against the Pugna, it's a little annoying just because your spells do cost a decent amount of mana. Going to be suffering in that regard, but I'm just purely thinking about the right click aspect. Particularly if you can get into something like a Skadi to be able to deal with a Tiny a little bit more effectively.
What about Army Geniuses though with the 23rd pick? I know we brought up the Grimstroke prior. As any other heroes kind of come to mind?
I think
Dire team ban.
they think that this is not a Pugna 3. I guess it probably isn't, to be honest, right? Like, yeah, you got decent movement speed, but the Razor Shaman is pretty deadly at being able to take down someone that has such a low HP pool. So they might just put this
10
Pugna 5
seconds
instead,
remaining.
right? I feel like that's
What,
probably
Nyx
the better way
4?
to go.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
I guess another thing that we haven't mentioned, it could be a
Radiant
Pugna
team
3 with a
pick.
Tiny 4. It is Narman, of course, on Army Geniuses, so there's a lot of flex for Radiant.
They can just Sand King, can't they? I would Sand King in this scenario. They got great ways to give information to be able to get good blink strikes off.
10 seconds
You
remaining.
have someone that's able to sit in a lane and allow Nyx Assassin to actually make a rotation
5
through.
seconds
Or
remaining.
Burst, which again combos together well with your Storm Spirit and Tiny. I really want to see it.
It's not a good lane versus Razor, though. Razor very much beats a Sand King in the lane, and I think...
Sure, you do. But I think you can also just choose to not lane as well, right? Like, put the Shadow Shaman, probably not going to buy boots level 1. You can just buy boots on the Nyx Assassin, pull the wave, and then get farm in that way. Don't actually contest.
Dire team pick.
It's another hero that you can leave solo. MY. I mean, this... I was about to say this still kind of feels like a Lena game, but you are
10
capable of
seconds
being boost
remaining.
very quickly, is my only concern. So you kind of
5
need to weigh up a
seconds
couple of
remaining.
options, right? Do you have the magic damage to kill a Timbersaw at the moment? No. Do you have a way to win the lane with something like a Queen of Pain? It's been banned, so no. So I still kind of feel like you leaner, and you just bank on the rest of your team being able to either make space for you, or you use Shadow Shaman to get a really early Roshan and win the lane in that regard.
You may now
Meepo?
select your heroes.
All right. I feel like they've got decent damage to be able to deal with a Meepo, though, right?
Yeah, they do. I don't know why they picked Meepo. It's very good versus the Storm Spirit. Well, the control is very good versus the Storm Spirit, but
You just buy an earlier BKB than usual.
Yeah, you do. You just go a couple nulls into BKB. I am a bit concerned about the Meepo pick. We saw it recently in Division 1, which I think it was Neon that pulled it out. I believe Avatar.
Let's say yes.
10 seconds
Okay,
remaining.
let's say
I know
yes.
it was in Western Europe. Game and Gladiators played it.
Yeah, Ace
5
looked very good on the
seconds
Meepo, as he always has. But
It was a free Meepo game, like in that game in particular.
so this, we're both feeling like this doesn't look like as free of a Meepo game, and they've still gone down this route, which I think for Meepo as a hero right now, I think it has to be a very good game for him, because there's a lot of Meepo specialists in Southeast Asia. I know there was that discussion on the DPC panel who has more, but I think Southeast Asia has a lot of people that can play the Meepo, and for us not to see it as much, and even when we see it, like it still looks very underwhelming. So I'm a bit concerned for BB.
I think I may have played literally 0 games of Meepo, so I'm just having a look at what his spells cost to use. 70, 80
Very
odd.
low.
They are, but I mean, Pugna is going to have a lot of damage done by this Nether Ward at the end of the game. And even just the AoE, right, for being able to prevent 25% spell damage against a Meepo who's almost entirely reliant on that burst, at least super early on, until he's able to get something like a Sheep Stick and his 2 Dragon Lances and a Blink Dagger. Like, this is a pretty damn good Pugna game.
Can you guess my my Meepo win rate?
0% or 100. You wouldn't have asked otherwise.
Okay, fine. You have outsmarted me, I suppose. we do have another pause before we get underway, so we'll keep on the faces. No, it is 0%. I played 4 games of Meepo and I've lost all of them, so obviously my Meepo is not up there with the best. Like BB, we'll see. One game I got 11 kills. Hang on a second.
I have literally never played Meepo. How many heroes do you have 0 games played on?
Come out and play!
Wait, give me a second. How many do you have? Zero games.
13.
13. Why?
And I'm happy to say I have played 0 games of Primal Beast. I have played 0 games of Marcy. And I've played 1 game of Tiny. So
What?
no
One
pre
game
MMR
of
here.
Tiny. Only one.
And
That's...
I lost as well.
I have played. There's 4 heroes I haven't played a game of. One's Primal Beast, one's Hoodwink, Dawnbreaker, and Arc Warden. So a lot of the newer heroes.
Dawnbreaker. I probably should play Dawnbreaker. I feel like it's a fine enough hero. I haven't played Arc Warden either. Anything to do with micro, I don't play. So no Meepo, no Chen, no Brewmaster, no Arc Warden. Played 1 game of Visage, no Lycan. Don't make me micro, okay? These fingers, arthritis.
Just boomer age. I understand. Micro heroes are. But I feel like you have that StarCraft specialty, and then if you don't, you're playing micro heroes.
I don't.
Yeah. So there you go. Playing micro heroes is a little bit more on the difficult route.
I feel like I'm like good to very good in a lot of games, except for RTS games. I am trash at those. I'm pretty bad at racing games as well, but everything else I'm decent. Oh, and FPS that are like PUBG or Counter-Strike style FPS games where you actually need to stand still and shoot. I'm bad at those. Your Unreal Tournaments, your Overwatch, ones where you can move and shoot. I'm fine with those.
Interesting. Yeah, no, CSGO is a whole nother level of complexity. That game is... Shooting is just another beast in that game. I don't hit anyone. I tried to play that game, and yeah, the skill gap on that is way too crazy. So, you know, I'm just like, yeah,
There's a lot of hackers as well. Don't feel too bad. You probably run into a bunch of them as well.
oh, yeah.
But before Dota came out, I was, you know, back when I was a young lad, I was playing a decent amount of CS, and I was decent back then because, you know, I had my, at the time, Zoomer reflexes. But now, not so much. My friends always seem to want to play a little bit of CS, and I'm like, you know what? Give it a pass. If you play something where I can move and shoot, I'm in.
All paths lead back to Dota for us, though. How many hours do you have on Dota?
Oh, don't ask me that. I'm going to reveal too much.
Do it. How many?
I'm looking.
Not that hard.
Shut up.
I got it instantly.
Oh yeah, just look at my library, don't I?
Yeah.
All right, have a guess.
Over 10K.
Yes. Keep guessing.
Oh boy. 13,341.
That is ridiculously close. 13,329.
Hang on. I'll take that as a. I'll take that as a.
I'll give that a win.
Let's go.
You need a win ever since the DPC prediction contest.
Okay,
By the way, I haven't received my package yet.
Yeah, by the way, we're avoiding that. How many hours do I have on Dota?
Is it between 5 and 10?
Yes.
7,211.
What the fuck's going on? There's no. Wait, hang on.
What?
No, just give me a second, Jay.
Hold on, there's a game.
Yeah, we got a game. It'll be okay. So, what? I've got 7,234. We were both in like 15 hours. That's what?
I could have just cheated and looked at your profile, but I didn't. I actually guessed that.
Of course you would cheat. All right, how we feel about this one? We got 3 for 1 with the bounties. It's going to be Army Geniuses coming out ahead of that. And do we believe in the Meepo draft? Can BB do it all to send us to a game 3?
I think no. I think Army Geniuses have the better draft. I'm a big fan of Little Skeleton Man, Pugner. I feel like he's very good at trading in lane. One of the few heroes that actually has the ability to effectively trade with a Coddle in lane, because you've got the same movement speed and you've got pretty good right clicks as well. He hasn't gone for the build that I typically go for, where you get a few Iron Branches just for those quick, easy stats. Very nice for building into a wand as well. You don't need much as a Pugner, right? Especially if you're going for this medic style. Like a wand, some Tranquil Boots, either an Aether Lens or a Drums, and you're very effective really early on.
I think this is a pretty important game for Army Geniuses, just in the aspect of seeing how Varese looks on the Pugner, because they really like giving this to Wommy. We saw it multiple times in the DPC, and it was pretty much always for Wommy. And if they can show that they have the flex and that Varese looks good with the Pugner 5, then it could be something that is an issue for other teams, you know, further down the line of this tournament.
Absolutely, you always want to have that flex there. And it's something that you don't want to be known as the team that if you pick Pugner, it's going to the off lane, right? So you need to have it as that potential.
Top lane. Got the other side on the Razor. Jay will be picking that one up, and he's going to be paired together with Lion Axe on the Shadow Shaman. A double range lane, but very much so as a killing lane.
So even though it's not as bad as it would have been if, you know, they went the Sand King like I was originally thinking, they're still doing the same strategy, right? Nyx Assassin buys boots, Shadow Shaman is quite slow and doesn't have any movement speed items, and they just don't lane into the Razor Shaman. They pull the lane, they make sure the Timbersaw is getting a lot of that solo experience. Shaman, you've got good right click, but you can't deny against this this Timber, and he's just going to get exactly what he needs to be able to be fine in the game.
And the good thing about this is that you have, like, a Nyx Assassin is someone that can kind of make rotations. Not the greatest, but the Timber wants to be left alone. And I imagine we're going to see Naaman TP down to bottom eventually, try and use that Impale, set up for a kill, and then go from there. Not only do you amplify your Tiny's game, but also just giving Timber solo that is amplifying him along with it.
For sure. I think Narman just wants to hit up onto that level 2, maybe 3, and then he'll look to leave the lane. He just wants to try and get Timbersaw to perhaps level 4 or 5, and then he'll feel a lot more confident at making those sorts of rotations. So you can see, like, this is where they're a little bit antsy, because the lane is actually together. Got the shackles there available, so look at a decent amount of static link off, but again, the damage early on is still pretty lacking.
Wami was even thinking about Timberchain aggressively onto Jay. He's like, watch yourself, buddy. This Timberchain does do a decent amount of damage. Mid lane, BB's doing a good job to be able to hold back a 0. It's pretty close in the regards to last hits, but now that BB is able to find some levels. And there's a nice thing about the Meepo. It can split up his heroes to top and bottom and kind of take a 0 really out of the lane, because the Storm is going to rely on the bottle refill, so we might have to see the supports kind of helping out a 0 a little bit more.
Denied.
Oh, speaking of him, he's gone on a little bit here, although I believe I actually missed the other Earthbind. Let's choose the one. They did block up the camp for the Meepo, so that's been dewarded since then, but an immediate counter to the Observer Ward that was on the high ground by Varese nets him a good amount of gold for himself. And DB, I mean, we always look to highlight the Storm Spirit when paired together with someone like the Pugner, but honestly, Tiny is one that can do a very similar job. You know, very low mana pool, but you can get so much done with just
top
spells,
lane,
right? So
Nyx is going to be in trouble. Long duration shackles from Lion Axe gives Jay ample time to stack up the damage, and 2 points in the plasma fill. Wami's going to try and look to get a return kill. It looks like Jay's going to make it out of harm's way.
I mean, this is what happens, right? When you lane into this Shaman Razor, it's why they've made all of those pulling shenanigans happen. But as soon as they hit up onto that level 3 on the Shaman, just that extra nearly full second of the shackles provides the extra damage needed for the static link to really start to kick in.
And they even blocked the Ancients as well over at MY's Triangle. So that was something I wanted to bring up. Like, you have a Keeper of the Light, one of the better supports to be able to find stacks and look to amplify your cause. As Seri actually will be in trouble if he doesn't get crazy amount of damage out from the combo, but Seri looks like he'll be okay.
Armin's actually going to go for some stacks of his own, so it's not going to be likely a rotation, a full-on rotation to the mid lane, but at least protecting the top camps there. Made one of those common little mistakes, actually.
On the river,
BB, actually.
Oh my, mass amounts of damage from Azura, along with the help of Narman. And now they don't have much mana on Azura. Let's see if they can still get the kill on Lion Axe. Stuns on cooldown for another 7 seconds on Narman. They're doing a very good job with the body blocks. Azura, one more overload proc, but under the tower, the damage is starting to stack up as Narman turns around, finds a stun. They get the trade. Stylist. He's got some earn charges, though, to play with. Azura's going to go for a TP out. Beautiful read.
And actually on Lion Axe there, he did something that I love. You know, obviously he doesn't have any trees to eat. He plants his own tree, eats a tango, and makes sure that he has that regen running while he makes that defensive run towards his tower. And you don't get a kill onto the Nyx Assassin if you don't do that little bit of a play. You just give up your life for free. So great that they were able to get that trade.
And with all this going on across the map, Wami shoved the Razor out of the lane. Jay was forced to TP back to base, and they even smoked him out. So that was with the catapult timing. So top tower's taking a lot of damage. Back to mid, BB. Double Earthbind to hold back Azura, but he's got some mana to utilize here with a dive. Azura up to killing spree. That's his second death in a row, and for a Meepo, you really can't be giving away lives like this. Wami is in trouble. Chains up to the high ground. Oh, that's a beautiful placement of Wami's chain, so he will make it away along the snatch and grab of the bounty rune.
Get away just in time. Also has the Ring of Health delivered through to him, so yeah, he's going to be all good here. Things going from good to better for Army Geniuses. Make a bunch of stacks happen. All right, let's see if Narman learned from his lesson in trying to stack previously. He might just go for the Ancients instead. But if you hit the Dark Troll Summoner to be able to pull the camp, that's when he spawns the skeleton. So you got to hit one of the small boys. That way they don't spawn those, and you're still able to get the stack on.
Regeneration.
Look at you. support player giving us the best insight possible.
Give the plebs a bit of insight, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pleb carry and mid players.
I understand. You know, like you brought up, was it last game? One of the cores were trying to stack and they couldn't stack properly because they're, like you said, plebs.
They don't know the timing.
Yeah, yeah. They don't understand what it's like to be a support player.
I mean, to be fair, you can literally just press Alt and it shows you the timings
Oh
as
no,
well.
BB's
so-
under a ward. Narman along with the Zero once again. They really want to put BB into the grave and completely take him out of this second game. And oh, they're doing just that, man. He's got no game. 3 deaths in a row. They're looking to surround Army Geniuses though in the jungle. Linax. Wommy's even got to step in. We'll see how much the Timbersaw can really do. A beautiful spike carapace into the double stun. Oh, Narman. That's beautiful on the Nyx Assassin. Gives him such a window to penalize MY from trying to rectify the Meepo's death. Stylist, he's going to be next on the gender. As even Reese thinks about entering the fight. There's 4 going down and there will be no trade off the back of this.
Oh, man. I just want to have a look at... I mean, how are they getting these kills onto him? Was that a smoke previously? Because they've got a ward up there on the high ground to scout out any kind of just movement. Okay, well, that's better. I
Look at
suppose
Bo,
they've got
Narman.
their high ground.
Vendetta's already out, trying to get the life of Seri. Avalanche gonna try and disrupt the arena combo. Max stunlock from DB, and that'll get the kill, but it will cost Narman his life. Oh my lord, okay, it will. I was gonna say, hang on a second.
It's well worth it, right? You just want to keep putting these cores in the bin. And the fact that this Observer Ward from Narman has gotten the full value out of that inside the Dire Triangle. It's expired now. They had the Shadow Shaman Courier on top of it previously, but reveal anything. And when we were talking about the Nyx Assassin pick and what it can do when enabled with the Storm Spirit, you know, I said any kind of thing that provides cleave inside the jungle is going to be vulnerable to that sort of gank. Well, honestly, Meepo is in the same sort of boat. You know when he's going to be using the poof, right? So you can very easily just set up your Spike Carapace to punish at least one of the Meepo.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So it's going to be all on MY to continue playing aggressively. You know, whenever you got Serpent Wards, try and pair that together with pushes onto the towers. It's an awkward position for Army Genius to be in. They're going to rely on Wommy to defend, but meanwhile they're still hunting BB. As you're paired up with a double damage rune, so this will be a quick and easy kill as BB is getting not much help out of anyone else, and even Stylus is going to be in trouble. Azura's got plenty of mana still to utilize. Beautifully played from Army Geniuses. They are looking very clean in this second game.
Yeah, they just put a lot more emphasis onto making sure that that tower went down on the bottom side. Maybe to open up this side of the map for the Meepo to look to play on, where there's less potential for the team to join in. Look at Narman scouting out perfectly the roaming Observer Ward. And now that Varese is level 6, he's just been able to pump Azura all the way back up to full HP and mana. Still got the remnants of the double damage. Doesn't even need the Storm
I might
Spirit,
get
actually.
Jay. Azura's still got a decent amount of mana. It's going to pull back Narman. Stun's still on cooldown. They're going to be cautious about how deep they go, but a miss on the Earthbind means that BB will get no retribution. So, again, another kill. Look at this, dude. The medic Varese just...
Love it.
Health, mana, whatever you need, my good sir.
Now that you've said my good sir, I just keep thinking of it's a butler now. Just a Pugna butler.
Yeah, whatever you need. He's providing. My good sir, I'll provide you anything. You win us the game. I'll give you the resources. It's okay. So, what do you need? It's like, you need any items too? He's biting 4
Too bad.
staff.
You can get them yourself.
No. He's building 4
Okay.
staff. Yeah, sir, I need a 4 staff. Yes, please. Thank you.
Pretty good 4-staff game.
Yeah.
Get you out of the coddle combos, get you out of the static link, get you out of the Earthbind poof combination.
BB again, dude. The Vision game from Army Geniuses. Vision win games. It's as simple as that. We saw it in game 1. We're seeing it in game 2. He's continuing to farm where Radiant have the information. Now, bottom lane, this is a very weird positioning from Wommy. Maybe thinking that he was much tankier than what he truly is. A maxed out static link with the help of 2 other heroes will net them their first kill in quite some time for MY.
To be fair, that time around for BB, he had a ward previously that had literally just expired. So if it had been about 30 seconds sooner, he would have been able to spot up these wards as they were placed to invade onto the high ground. But I suppose it is a little bit of his bad too, right? Because he should know his wards are expiring soon. Not a safe place to be. I wonder if they're also keeping track of like when these kills are happening, just to know what the smoke situation is at all times on Army Geniuses. Got one available now. They wanted to make a movement towards somewhere. It's holding on to it at the moment. Have any in stock? Well, I believe they don't. So this would be the last one that they had. So they're going to need to pick and choose, not just frivolously use the smoke for the sake of it. It's just got to keep being used to put this Meepo in.
Radiant are scanning.
DB is farming very aggressively. Smoke's
Blink.
Nice reactions. Blink out, daytime, always an advantage. And now Radiant, they want to take the fight. By an axe. Hex before DB gets the combo. It's a decent arena as Army Geniuses can't really step in, but they haven't dealt with the medic. So what do you need? Health is on the cards for DB, but he's still going to be in trouble. In MY's territory, he's going to make it down to the low ground, but MY, they've got the numbers, they've got the damage to continue hunting. As DB will be killed off, but Azura looking to get some revenge. Azura's out of mana though, so he's still going to be a bit cautious. Gets a last little zip to the river, but Stylus, so Seri along with Jay, who's going to zip inside the pit, but no TP available, just playing with Naaman. The bind is out. Azura gets... No way! He gets the kill before he dies. Of course, he gives an even bigger streak over to Seri, but Naaman, he's not even going to be killed off as well as in the end. A very, very messy fight, but Army Geniuses, they still got the numbers. They're going to replenish the ward on the high ground to scout out Jay. Let's look at the burst coming through from afar. Non-committal onto the Razor. Now Wami's going to look to close the distance, but MY, they've got a T2 Sour still to be able to play with. Lion Axe holds back the Timber, then Varize, as Jay continuing to get to the safety of the tower, but Wami, where he can easily clean up eating his food with no care in the world. Wami? What about this one?
Varize there.
Yeah, kind of. Oh, no. What was that? Naaman! He's doing crazy. DB's back live as well. They're on to BB. How many deaths are we up to on the Meepo? Number 7. Oh, no.
Not looking great. I mean, the supports are winning this game for me on Army Geniuses' side. Varize and Naaman just providing so much information to allow the rest of the team to just walk into these fights without a care in the world.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ah, yes. Pugner just gives his health all to someone else, then just gets it back from a creep, then rinse and repeat. What a beautiful hero. Yeah,
Varize knows the way that it works as well, with the decrep and the HP that you're able to return to someone. You know how that works?
Care to explain? Because I do not.
So, if you have more magic resist on yourself and you decrep, it's based on essentially the health that you lose. So by having magic resist, it's actually bad if you want to go this medic style. In the similar sort of vein, if you decrep yourself and then mana drain your teammate, you take more damage from your own life drain, so you heal for more.
Interesting.
Because I saw he didn't decrep himself when he was healing the Tiny previously. That's why I bring it up.
Get out, BB. Get out, BB. No, dude. What is this word? Army Geniuses, you guys are looking in incredible fashion to kick off the Pro Series. Is a beautiful stun. They cancel the shackles. They hold back Jay. The Razor just got BKB on the courier. Forced to use the first one defensively. Stylus is trying to get
DB's coming with the blink dagger.
Oh no, not inside the base. They're even gonna go for it. Jay, his BKB expires, and that's where DB can pounce.
And look at this, Varize, Azura, just like, don't worry about it, brother. I got you.
You're one of the good ones.
Dude, nowhere is safe. Naaman, what a spike carapace. This is a beatdown. So, what's Meepo telling everyone? Because more than likely this is BB.
Fall it. That's what he's saying. Because he is not doing that great. You know, as a Meepo, you need to be playing from ahead, and you need to be using that advantage.
Oh, they're onto him again. They're onto him again. DB will toss him away, but Wami's got the yours to counter. BB, oh no, he gets killed off, and meanwhile, it's an arena on to 3, but Varese is doing God's work here. The live drain, making sure Army Geniuses are healthy enough to beat him. He's still on good up for Jay. Rinse and repeat. Back to the tier 2 tower we go, but without a BKB to escape. Maybe look at the storm, but oh, that's not even a possibility. Without killing off Varese, you won't get anyone else. As he's the real reason of why Army Geniuses can continue with all these aggressive plays. 5 down to make it a wipe across the map. And yeah, we are well and truly at the territory where they are thinking about calling it.
Yeah, it's rough, right? This is soul breaking.
Oh boy. Not again. They still have that lane ward? They do. Should reveal his award on the higher gun. There we go. That's going to be dealt with instantly.
What series was it? I remember a Pugna buying a heart.
I think.
I feel like it was.
Yeah,
White one.
Yeah. Was that one of the T1 games recently against Polaris? I think so. Very interesting. Is he going hard? Okay, he's not.
No, but I want him to. The only thing stopping this storm from literally constantly being at full mana is Varese's health. That's it. You know, he's just having to stop because he needs his tranquils to kick in. Could it be the double tranquil build?
Oh, wow.
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of the Pugna. 1-1 and 16. Varese. This is something we brought up earlier on throughout the lanes, that if Varese can make the Pugna look really, really good on the position 5, then this is going to make Army Geniuses that much scarier throughout the Pro Series. Because now you've got Wami, who's very comfortable in the Pugna, but now you can also give it over to Varese on the position 5. So things are clicking on all cylinders for Army Geniuses in this series in particular.
I want to see him go like Boots of Bearing sort of build here on the Pugna. Gives him some nice stats. And of course, any kind of way that you're going to increase
this could be the last fight.
Is great.
Terry gets the jump on Wami. Doesn't have many reactive armor stacks, but instantly, okay, BB. That's a great combo to the middle, but all the AoE damage means that BB can't do anything. He's going to try and escape, getting away. The Earthbind holding them back, but the Spirit Vessel, it's enough to tick him out. The Storm Spirit's still going to be in trouble, but DB stalking his prey. A toss into the combo, beautifully combined with the Tiny. Well played indeed. It's Varese giving them the voice lines, the confidence they need to dive deeper and deeper. Multiple buybacks. They need to get something out of this. The Nyx Assassin's going to be killed off, but the Tiny, he has the Aegis in the arsenal, so he does not give a damn at all. Dieback on the Shaman. Seri's going to jump in as well, but this could soon be a dieback onto Seri Perry, along with all the other heroes joining them in the grave. Beyond Godlike on Wami. Have they got 3 heroes beyond Godlike? Nah, Tiny's still not at that stage, but Army Geniuses, 15,000 net worth lead.
Things looking real good, and wait, was that? Pugna didn't even buy back. He was just like, he got burst at the start of that fight, and he's just like, you know what? I'm so low level, I'm just going to come back normally, heal you up, and that is a 22-minute GG. Pugna, very strong hero.
Yes, very strong hero, and Army Geniuses showing that, again, they can play it in multiple roles. Varese looking good, and unfortunately for BB, you know, I feel like any Meepo player, you got 24th pick, you're telling the lads, yeah, pull out the Meepo. I believe in myself. This is looking like a decent game. Well, I think on the contrast, he goes 0, 10, and 4. Not a game that BB is wanting to remember.
For sure. I mean, I feel like there are good Meepo games. And by all means, if you tell your team it's a good Meepo game, they probably should have trust in you if you're a Meepo specialist to want to pick it for you. This was not one of them. You know, just Nyx Assassin to scout you out when you are jungling. That's a big reason why you're strong as a Meepo, right? You're able to get farm all around the map. You're able to lock people in place, but you have AoE damage. You've got a Pugna to reduce the damage as well that you're outputting. And it just was not a good Meepo game. So really, for me, it's hard to still put a gauge onto MY because we don't know where they're at when the drafts are even. For me, both of these drafts today were Army Geniuses favored, so hopefully for MY they're able to switch it up because they're going to be moving into the lower bracket of their side of the qualifiers. We'll leave they're in Group B. But I think that's all for us today. We've got a couple of more series tomorrow, though. Do you want to tell our loyal fans and chat about that?
Loyal fans, indeed. We will spread awareness of what's going on. Tomorrow we're going to have Patriots up against UDV. That'll be the first series. If anyone's unaware, Patriots are ex-Apes, so still full roster of Apes, but just on a different branding. And then we will have, I think probably the hyper series of the night. It's going to be Motivate Trust versus Yangon Galacticos. That will be the second series. We've got 5 days of closed qualifier action. They will be all days will have 2 best of 3s. We have 4 teams that can qualify, double elimination, and there are potential for multiple chances for the teams that win the first series as well.
We're done at 7 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
This is crazy, crazy stuff for us. We're used to going into the early hours of the night. I gotta say, we'll save it a little bit for tomorrow. I'm a bit sad that they're not going by apes anymore. They're getting a lot of love. I feel like across the board, SEA teams, doesn't matter what region it's in, but there are a lot of voice lines coming out. You know, we got the Boom ones. We've got a few from Neon, the What Can You Do, Brother. We've got Apes as well, getting a lot of love. So maybe rebrand like a Patriots. I don't know. Just I got to keep the apes in there somehow because that's where a lot of the love from the fans comes from.
Yeah, I was intrigued to see how they gained so many followers fast. Of course, they have kind of this cult following almost in a way with Mamang Dyer and some of the other ex-Army Genius players. But that is for another day, of course, tomorrow. So today we had 2 series. It was Execration with a clean 2-0 over Kobolds and then Army Geniuses with a clean 2-0 as well. So they are in prime position. They're going to move over to the upper bracket final where they've now secured at least 2 chances. They've got 2 qualification chances, which is, of course, a shining spot for them. Probably they were both the 2 teams we were expecting to take the slots as well. But for us, our first day of Phase 1 for the BTS Pro Series 11 is done and dusted. We will be back same time tomorrow for Day 2 of the closed qualifiers. We'll see you guys then.
I guess it makes sense if they're picking the DK here. I really like that lane.
Yeah.
It's just like strong trading, lots of damage.
Yep.
They're gonna destroy towers this game on T1 between Tiny, Pugna,
Yeah.
and Dragon Knight. Oh my God, Fnatic better not lose a single fight this game.
But we get DJ Hoodwink. This
We
guy
do.
plays the best Hoodwink in SEA. He is so good on this hero. DJ's a greedy 4. He's an insane 4. He does a lot with farm. He makes a lot of plays. He's great at making space. He's just, when you see DJ as a 4, he just dishes out more damage and more impact on the game than so many other 4s. Same time, sometimes it comes at the cost of, maybe taking a bit more farm and taking a bit away from an off lane.